Yes, people, I appreciate you all joining the Blue Morning Show this morning. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for always finding the time to support the show. Today, we have a few items lined up to discuss. We'll talk about Dusan Vlahovic. We'll talk about Tyler Adams, Moises Caicedo, Romelu Lukaku, and the Romelu Lukaku and Dusan plus cash and Dusan Vlahovic, a swap deal, potential swap deal, and then Michael Olise and some other news that may reports that might emerge as the show progresses. But more importantly, I appreciate you all finding the time to join, and I do hope you're all doing well. And the more again, once I'm done saying hello to everybody, play the intro. I will go. Sorry, I flipped the whole thing. Once again the intro is done, I'll get to the chat immediately to say hello to all of you before we start addressing the items we'll have lined up. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, let's get into it straight away without wasting your time. I hope you're all doing well, and I really do mean that. Let's see who we have in the chat. It was at first I think it was Mitchy Boy, and Mitchy Boy. Mitchy Boy, big up to you. Thanks for the raid. I appreciate you. I hope you're doing well. Going live midnight UK time. Try to keep it to 2 hours at this time and not 9 hours. But I appreciate you. Much love to you. And go check out Mitchy Boy's YouTube channel. Yep, very well done today, Michi Boy. So it's clear what you're telling people to do. He says subscribe to Michi Boy's YouTube channel. Link to my channel, just a Chelsea chat show, and the link is there. And you can see the handle there at Chelsea Michi Boy. Go check it out. Believe me, he's very knowledgeable, all things Chelsea, and you will enjoy it. I was lucky Roger couldn't sleep, coach. Yeah, he was again in that particular show. He was sounding as if he was about to ready to go to bed. Yeah, big up to everyone, says Mitchell Boy. Let's see, who else do we have here? Gabriel Keita, I appreciate you joining this morning, brother. I hope you're doing well. Money, Coach Money to you too, brother. It's been a minute. I haven't seen you in a few days. Please do let me know that you're okay. That will make me happy. And DC, so Amaji Chigozie, one Dalo, I appreciate you joining Chigozie. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding time to join once more again. Feel at home. I think that's the first time I'm seeing you here. Amaji, not Amaju. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if that's the case, if in fact this is your first time, enjoy yourself, feel at home. Welcome to the Chelsea Perspective community, and express yourself. All we ask of you is just to keep it civil. I appreciate you. Amadi Chigos here, and let's see. Hello, everyone on this channel. Gabriel Keita, hello to you too. Hello, Coach. Escape me tracks. It's been 1,000 years since I saw you last. I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know in the chat. I appreciate you finding the time to join, brother. Thank you so much. All good. I cannot complain. Thank you so much for asking. Hope I can join today. You can. If you want to just hit me up via Twitter, and I'll share the link with you. And as the again, the rule we have in place, if this is your first time, you have to show your face on camera at least for 1 minute. Yeah, just for security reasons. We've had issues where people were given the access to the panel and they end up playing X-rated sounds, and it got the channel of my friends shut down for a while. But that's, by the way, I know I can trust you. Just hit me up via Twitter and let me know you want to join the panel. That is not an issue. So more importantly, I hope everyone is doing well. Let's get into the conversation immediately without wasting much of your time. And we are starting. Which one is it really? Is it this one? Yep, this particular topic. Did I mix things up? This one here, sorry. I hate it when it does that. It's going to go blank again and then come back to some screen I do not like. Let me see. Okay, I think this is the correct one here. Let's talk about this. Robert Sanchez has agreed a 7-year contract with Chelsea Football Club. Leeds United Tyler Adams is leaning towards a move to Stamford Bridge should Chelsea trigger his 20 million release clause. I think the issue with Tyler Adams' case is that he's injured, and it would be a huge risk because we're not too sure we're not sure about the severity of the injury, or maybe if that has affected his overall performance. That happens with players. I don't. And I have to be honest. I don't know how long he was out. Let me not get too much into that. But yeah, Robert Sanchez has signed a 7-year contract with Chelsea Football Club. Good morning to you too, Ibrahim Al Hassan. I appreciate you finding time to join the show. Thank you so much, brother. Welcome to Chelsea, to the Chelsea Perspective family. If it is indeed your first time here, enjoy yourself, feel at home. Again, all we ask of you is just to keep it civil. Let's see what other item we have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let me see. I think that's actually the wrong item I wanted to start with. I got things mixed up here, probably because I was looking for, again, when I was researching items. I'm not too sure what happened. This says Chelsea will bid a total of 90 million pounds for Moises Caicedo, but that is a set to be rejected. Here's the thing: how did this guy? How did again? How did this guy know that the 19 million total package will be rejected? Because this says a total of 19 million, which means that includes the add-ons and everything. So it's not like 90 million plus add-ons. I think that's a good offer, really. If they reject it, I'm not too sure what Chelsea are going to do. If in fact they're asking for 100 million plus, and if we're able to bid for 90, if we're willing to offer 90 million, then the disparity will be just a 10 million pounds. And I'm not too sure. But let's see what happens there. I'll get back to you in a bit. Just let me ask somebody question here. Just quickly here. All right, so let's keep it going. Let's see what else you have to say. I'm sure you can see the report on the screen there. What do you think? Do you think we should go beyond that? Since the report, Alex Crook is saying that is set to be rejected. How he knows that they are going to reject the deal is, again, beyond me. But this says that Chelsea will beat a total of 90 million pounds for Moises Caicedo, but that is set to be rejected. That's according to Alex Crook. So I'm not sure what to make of this particular report. I hope to get the opinion of all the panelists if they have the time to join us. Jackson XE Edit, hello to you too, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Do you own a YouTube channel? If that's the case, you let me know. If that's the case, you let me know, and I'll find a solution to that. Let's see what else we have here. What else do we have in this chat? But hello and welcome, Rafael. We didn't need a Sanchez. I think we need him. Even if we end up signing another goalkeeper, it doesn't matter. So I get it. I've taken my time to look at his statistics versus that of Kepa Arrizabalaga. It turns out he's not that much of an upgrade to Kepa Arrizabalaga. If we have to go by their recent form, unfortunately. But that's just my opinion. That's the chance he ends up again showing that he's a better goalkeeper than Kepa Arrizabalaga. But we'll find out. I think his long range passes are way better than Kepa Arrizabalaga. And one more thing he has over Kepa is the fact that he's taller. Man, Brighton are pulling our pants down. Just sign Nicola Rovella for 20 million, and he is way better than Caicedo. If we cannot get Caicedo over the line, I'd rather we take the risk and keep Leslie Ugochukwu. He's a fine player, and you don't. If you're concerned with regards to how good he is, check it out. He played, I think, quite a lot of games for Rennes, and he helped them achieve a top four finish in the French league, which means they'd be involved in the next edition of the Champions League, and we're not actually. So I'm not too sure why we're considering loaning him out. If he played and helped Rennes achieve Champions League football, it just doesn't make any sort of sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. We have Immortal Techniques on in the chat today. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The question is, what do you make of the report on the screen that Chelsea will bid a total of 90 million pounds for Moises Caicedo, and our Alex Crook is saying that that is a set to be rejected. How he knows that will be the case, I don't know. Maybe because the rumors out there that Brighton's evaluation of Moises Caicedo is 100 million pounds. It's that or nothing. So it makes sense for him to say that, but there's no way to tell whether they'd reject that. And that's Monday. Hele, I appreciate you joining. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing okay. We're doing well. I can tell this is your first time here on Monday. On Monday, if it is pronounced Monday, let me know it is number 2, but I think it will be Monday. I appreciate you finding time to join us today. Welcome. Feel at home. Express yourself. All we ask of you is just to keep it civil. But you're now again a member of the Chelsea Perspective family. So fed up with Brighton, we should just keep that DM. We got a couple of weeks to go. Again, if we're really looking for a DM, then Leslie Lukaku is the man. He's traditionally a DM. Caicedo isn't traditionally a DM, in my opinion. If we are signing a goalkeeper, then we should have assigned Antoli Tribuna for 30 million. Inter wanted him to replace Onana, but they found him too expensive. Yeah, at that price. So y'all, what is your opinion? Do you think 90 million is too much for Moises Caicedo, or do you think it's a good enough offer? Okay, big up. Nice to know that you're okay. Yo, 254 Kenyan brother in the house. Appreciate you. Mr. Happiness is for free. Much love to you, brother. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope everything is okay with you. This says, I want Ugochukwu to stay. The Ravella and Ugochukwu should be DMs. Let's see what happens there. Let's see what else we have here in the house. I see Chelsea 95 plus. Which means this will be rejected. That's the case. Let's see what else we have here. Where is Eden Hazard? I'm not sure. Namugowa Umaru, I honestly don't know where he is right now. Ugochukwu played 60 matches for Rennes in total. Amachi Chigozie, thank you for again helping us with that information. So I think he has enough experience. I get it, he's just 19, but he's played enough. Age has nothing to do with experience, but only the fact is age. Probably the older you are, the more chance you have to gain more experience. But sometimes you can be young and have again be experienced in certain vocations or certain stuff than even the older people. So he's done quite well. I don't know. I understand the contemplation of whether to send him out on loan or keep him. Even if we sign Caicedo as a DM, we need 2 players who are again 2 DMs. And Ugochukwu actually is traditionally a DM, while Caicedo isn't. But that is just my opinion. Even 15 million is too much for Caicedo. Caicedo is freaking incomplete. We should find a support on. We get to that in a bit. Right now, we're talking about Moises Caicedo. Personally, I'd pay Brighton to keep a Caicedo. Wow, that is some argument right there. I think we will get a cover for a competition for Christopher and Kunga. You can say we'll have that already in Nicholas Jackson. I hate Caicedo and Brighton. I think that's too strong words right there. That word is too strong right now. It's business for all parties involved, nothing personal really. Update on Lukaku. Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. We have that lined up. I'm from Uganda. Where is Eden Hazard? I've answered that question already. And Tolly Trubin would have cost 30 million, and his complete unlike a Sanchez. I'm going to come to you immediately. Hopefully, the background noise where you are has reduced. The question for you is that I'm sure you're seeing what we have on the screen here. Chelsea will bid a total of 90 million pounds for Moises Caicedo, but that is set to be rejected according to Alex Crook. What do you make of that report, my friend? And I hope you're doing well. It's been a while, but thank you for joining. You go ahead.
Yeah, hello guys. It's been a while. Yeah, I've been taking care of my kids, so I barely have time to maneuver my time and come here
And
yeah,
participate. Yeah, and believe me, I know how that is. So in most cases, I'm home with my boys, yeah, and I know how difficult that can be. But go ahead. A good thing is that they're healthy, and you have to take care of them.
Yeah. For me, with all the news about Moises Caicedo, this is a player that I feel like we need, and everyone, every Chelsea supporter also, um, are also this is the player that everyone wants, like all the Chelsea supporters. But the
Mm,
problem that I have with this issue is I feel like Brighton want to milk every cent out of this deal, and I don't blame them because the team that Moise Caicedo, um, his former team, have I think 20% sell-on clause in his contract, so they are trying to make as much as they could from it. And I heard one of your panel yesterday was saying that um, buying Sanchez is more like you are giving. We paid more for Sanchez so that they can make some money out of Sanchez deal, and then we can buy Moise Caicedo so that they could get also like a lion share from the Caicedo's deal. But I feel like this is all speculating from we don't know what
mm.
is happening. And I don't think like the person that posted this also know what is really happening. How could you know that Chelsea is about to um is about to bid for 90 million, and how do you know at the same time that Brighton is going to reject it? And one thing also about like Chelsea deals that I've like I've seen lately is that the big money moves don't really show impact when if you go through the players that we bought to Chelsea, and you go through the players that really did well, like Eden Hazard, Kante, even player like Drogba, Fabregas, Diego Costa. All these players, they didn't really cost Chelsea like they didn't really cost Chelsea like a huge amount, but then they showed impact. And we should also we've seen how much we paid for Kayavas. We've seen how much we've paid for other players. I think Enzo is the one that is living up to expectation. But apart from that, I don't think. I think if they want to drag us, we should just leave the deal and then go for another player. Because if you know this player, Romero, who plays for Barcelona, who used to be Chelsea player, we bought him from Barcelona, and then
Orion
we sold.
Romeo.
Yeah, Oro Romero. If you see the kind of football that guy is playing in this preseason, I was really surprised. So
He's mature. He's most again. He's improved. So again, Barcelona signed him because of his experience right now. Probably, most likely, a much better player. Likely, again, definitely a much better player than he was before they sold him as an academy player to us. But go ahead, and that was I think it was Andrea Villas-Boas that bought him from Barcelona. But go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, and what I'm trying to say is like the fact that you are buying somebody a huge amount doesn't mean that the person will live up to expectation. And Moise Caicedo
Hmm.
only played like we only see him for one season in in um in English Premier League. And Chelsea supporters, if we are able to buy Moise Caicedo, I think Chelsea supporters shouldn't judge him based on the money that we paid for him. It's not his fault. Is the Brighton and Chelsea, the hierarchy Chelsea's fault. For me, I don't see him to be like a really game changer. I feel like ev- everything has to go through, like all the performance have to be judged based on the team, like based on the individual, based on the team, not individual performance.
Hmm.
But um for me, I like Moise Caicedo, but I feel like if we are going to buy him and Brighton want to charge us for 100 million and we want to pay certain amount, we should just leave it. Like we shouldn't just drag it, because if you pay him for 100 million, I think any player that we're going to go for, everyone will going to be like, when we drag them, they are going to pay. So I think we also have to be stubborn at this point.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Let me see. Let me catch up with a bit of what we have in the chat, and I'll come back to you. What's the state of Nkunku's injury? There's no, there's not again. We don't. no set return date yet. I'm not the club. The club are hopefully just let me just state it the way. Give you again what I saw online. Say something to this to the effect of that he will be out for a while. The club are that we're hoping, the Chelsea are hoping that it's not that's not going to be months. Let it be just weeks. But he will most definitely miss the Liverpool game. But not too sure. They will continue to assess him to see how when he's going to be back. Other than that, let's see. When are you having a calling show? I think maybe if you can be on camera again. But if I do calling show, I will take only those on camera. No, we don't want Caicedo. Only okay, clowns on social media want Caicedo. Let's be cautious how we calling people names. Morning to you too, Santiago Muno. I hope you're doing well. Michael News says Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa would be a nice addition. For what position, to be specific, what position are you suggesting we'll go for him? Good morning to you too, Oko Chikazier. Oscar, I appreciate you joining. Or we'll have we have other targets. Yeah, we're considering. I think that may well just be a way of telling Brighton. That's just my again my opinion. Telling Brighton, look, if you're not willing to let this guy join us, we're gonna look elsewhere. So I'm gonna bring you in, Mark. Cardozo Banfordinho, I appreciate you finding the time to join this morning. If you see, I'm sure you can see on the screen the current topic. Talks about Chelsea will bid a total of £90 million for Moises Caicedo, but that is set to be rejected. But let's forget about the second path. What do you make of this? Do you think we should bid up to that, or do you think we should actually pay what they're asking and get the deal over the line? Your opinion, or you're one of those that, again, you don't want us to overpay. And if you say you don't want us to overpay, how much for you will mean that we're overpaying?
Good morning to everybody.
Good morning to you too, brother.
Good morning.
First of all, I would like to say that we are making a big mistake. And even before we came to the United States for the preseason, we should have solved this situation before we came. And less than a week, we are going to play Liverpool. And we're still talking about the DM situation, which I think is ridiculous. But hey, the owners, the technical team know the reason why we are still not buying Caicedo. Probably something is going on and nobody knows. But first of all, let's look at the whole situation. Does Caicedo really cost 100 million, as Brighton are saying? We don't know how much Brighton want to sell Caicedo. Probably they don't want to sell the guy at all. And they've not come out to say, hey, Chelsea, bring her 100 million. It's all about speculations. And it's all about, hey, Chelsea went for 75. It was rejected. They went with 80. It was rejected. But the Brighton team itself has not come out with a final price tag on Caicedo, which to me is a bit strange. For all you know, they don't want to sell the guy. Because if you look at the team right now, they have lost McAllister to Liverpool. They are supposed to play in Europe. So we might be thinking that, hey, they want to sell this guy. But
and just quickly, for 14 votes, again, for the poll there, so to speak, we have 14 votes, and 78% thinks that 100 million will be too much, and just 21% of thinks he's worth the price. You go ahead.
So to me, we are just making a big mistake. This guy cost them £4 million some years back. It's not even up to 5 years. He had a just nice season last season, and all of a sudden, they are saying they want to sell the guy for a certain price. I don't know the actual price. People are speculating that it's 100 million, which I'm not sure. And initially, this guy was supposed to cost around 75 million pounds, which to me is also expensive. He has just spent 1 year in Europe, and to be specific, in England. He had a bright season. We all know that. How sure are we this guy is up to the tax when we buy this gentleman? Look, Jackson was somebody nobody expected he would be great. We just did a low-key transfer, and look at Jackson right now. He seems to be one of our, key players right now. And we had a very smooth transfer. So to me, we are just wasting time. Let's look around. If we have to use Ugechuku as our new DM, just put the guy out there. We don't have to be waiting and say, oh, it's Caicedo who should come and solve this situation. If we are able to get Caicedo, it's fine. But we can also look at the other options. We've got Ogechukwu from Renee. Why don't we use the guy and see if he's going to make the marks at Chelsea Football Club than to wait. So for me, I don't know what the technical team is doing right now. Obviously, maybe they are going to have other options because we have less than 1 week and we don't want to wait. So we wait for the person who is going to be part of the team so that we play with Liverpool.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think, based on our performance in this preseason, we've all seen our players, we've all seen how the midfield performed. Yeah, we made an error, but not like a huge significant amount, like significant, like an error that I think it's a single error that I saw the midfielder did that cost us a goal. Do you think, based on our performance, do you think we really needed him? Do you think we really needed him because we are undefeated?
You always you always strive to be better. The signs are promising, but we're not complete. But here's the thing: I've argued we can do without him because we have, if in fact we're trying to sign him as a DM, Ugochukwu is traditionally a DM, and Moises Caicedo isn't. And for 100 million, I wouldn't mind us saying, you know what, if you're asking us for 100 million, we're walking. We're no longer interested in go with Ugochukwu and keep Andreas Sanchez. We have options that we can try out and find one that works perfectly. I'm not too. I won't be too frustrated if we walk away. But if we get him fine, he makes it even better. And we're not complete yet. Again, but if we walk, we have to keep Ugochukwu. That's just my opinion.
Coach,
and you've heard me argue that he helped Rennes achieve a top 4 place in League R, and they're going to be playing in the Champions League. And he played how many matches in total? I think somebody had it in the chat there. So quickly, but for DL, if he can come in, again, I'm not too concerned, but we need a signing like Moises Caicedo to be even better, to compete effectively. Let me just put it that way. But for DL, if he can come in quickly so that I can catch up with what we have in the chat before it grows too much, please.
So what I would like to say is there is a player in FC Lens I always put in your chat. The name is Samed. And everybody can just go look at this guy. He picked Lens from lower division, and I think they placed second or so last season. I've been talking about this gentleman for so long. When he was about to join the Ghana national team, people were complaining, bring this guy. And when he came, he did so marvelously well at the World Cup. So to me, I've watched Chelsea 2 preseason games in Philly and also in Maryland. And I don't see why these guys cannot survive. Even a player like Madsen is a very utility player. We can try him at the DM position and see if it's going to work out. And maybe when the January windows is open, we can go in for somebody. But it seems we are just wasting time. But I wouldn't say we are wasting time because I'm not there with the team. Maybe the technical handlers are looking at other options and make sure that we are all set for the season.
All right.
I have seen Conor Gallagher played at the 6, and trust me, the last game the last game that we played against Dortmund was one of his best performance in Chelsea shirt. And if he can perform this, I don't see the huge margin. I don't see like the kind of performance that we want our DM to play to be that Conor Gallagher didn't do on that day. Yes, there'll always be mistakes in football. Like people should move away from this fairy tale mindset that there's not going to be a mistake when you buy a player. We've seen Bozo moment from world class players. So with the ones that we have, a good coach or a good team perfect like the imperfection out of a player. If a player is imperfect, like you find out what is wrong with the player and then you perfect it. This is how you make greatness out of players. For me, with the way they've dragged everything, to be honest, like if we get him, fine. If we don't get him, fine. And I don't even want him in Chelsea anymore because I feel like they've dragged it for too long. You can't just people can only accept your drama for some time. when it's, I feel like, we should just move on and then focus on the team and what we have and then perfect it. That is all. I'm tired of this Caicedo strain.
Even Axel Disasi, I look at the gentleman. Apart from being a defender, that guy seems to be somebody who can hold down the defensive midfield.
Man, even Ampedu can play that
But
that
I'm Pedu's
position.
Right.
gone.
I think
Ampadu is
let's
gone.
not dwell on that. So let me catch up with what we have in the chat before it becomes too much. And Roger is in the house, and I get you again. I understand your response quite well, but I appreciate you. If you don't mind, I want to catch up with the chat so we can bring in Roger. If we dwell again, if we go down again as discussing the alternatives that much, then we'll never round off today. If you don't mind, please. Apologies.
Yeah.
How concrete is Olise deal? Even this is in line with the current topic, but I'm sure this is your first time here. Michael Imiruaye, I appreciate you joining. It's concrete, but again, can we get it over the line? That's another topic. That's a topic for another day. Manchester City are also interested. But the good news is that Olise himself, his leaning is again his favoring Chelsea over a move to Manchester City. Maybe because he was a Chelsea Academy player. And the blue, to again, big up to you, brother. Werner, Havertz, Lukaku, Ziyech have all been big money flops. Caicedo, after one season at Brighton, isn't even worth 80 million. Rice has been doing it for years and won a European trophy, and even he is too much. I think I can agree with you. Big money signings haven't really worked for us of late. So that's why we have to be very cautious with regards to how much we end up paying for Brighton. Otherwise, there's a pattern there. There's a risk, and I'm concerned. I hope that doesn't turn out to be the case. But let's see. Big up. That's a delicious comment of the day so far. Peter Elenchukwu, appreciate you joining. Yeah, Douglas Luiz will be a perfect alternative for Moises Caicedo. Let's see. Please, no hate speech again. Yeah, I haven't seen one yet. Any big up to you too, brother. Much love to you. Yes, sir. Always nice to see you, Panda. I appreciate you. He used to go by the name Cobra, and I think during one of the shows I called him Snake. So he changed his name to Panda. Much love. And coach, do you know Caicedo costs a 4 million? Don't you? I beg, walk away. Yep. But I do know he cost that. They bought him for just £4 million. But they did the job. They had to take the risk of fielding him week in, week out. It's a risk if we're gonna go that route. But I understand. Down that route. But I truly do understand where you're coming from. Even all the clubs are snatching all targets where, again, Chelsea owners are delaying it because of Caicedo. Please, Chelsea owners need to wake up. No time to waste. Here's the thing. I don't think they are. I don't think they're delaying it in anything. They know exactly what they're doing. Coach, do you still exist? I didn't know. But that sounds that's a suspicious comment, really, and I seriously do not know what to make of it. It sounds like you're trying to indirectly make me understand something I don't know what that is. Gibson Ofosu sounds like a Ghanaian brother there. My instinct tells me Brighton is making it impossible for Caicedo's transfer. Oh yes, here's the thing. That's a huge risk. This is the second time he's pushing to leave Brighton, and they're not willing to let him go. That's in fact, if that's the case, if they end up keeping him, good luck to them getting the best out of him, and good luck to them getting, you can say, anything close to how much we're willing to pay them right now. But again, that is just my opinion. And Ofosu, I think that's the first time I'm seeing you here. If that's the case, welcome to the Chelsea Perspective family. Fill a home, express yourself. All we ask of you is just to keep it civil. The price tag will weigh too heavy on him if he comes. It looks like a recipe for disaster. The whole world is watching him right now, and we'll pray for him to fail at Chelsea, especially the rival fans. Yeah, it's a Chelsea thing. Let's see. Please like the page and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. 56 likes already. Let's try and get it to 100 and shoot for 200 likes. And again, if you're watching, if you're in the chat, apologies. If you have more than one comment, chances are I will read one of your comments and skip subsequent ones just to read the comments of the other people that I haven't read in the chat, so we can, the whole thing is balanced. And Cucurella and Stalin as again a bargaining cheaper for Caicedo and be done with it. Do you think they'd want Cucurella back? If anything, I think they'd want more cash than anything. Love the way Chelsea want to sign Olise in secret while battling with Caicedo. You couldn't argue that. I think probably, if you ask me my opinion, I'd say we're using the Caicedo pursuit of deal as a distraction while we're working on all the big deals there. Let them forget Caicedo and Ugochukwu and give Ugochukwu a chance. I think Ugochukwu is a fine player. I don't. I'm going to say this. I'm going to keep saying it. But because it's the fact. It's as simple as that. First of all, Ugochukwu is traditionally a DM. Caicedo isn't. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's more of a box-to-box midfielder. He can play as an 8. I get it. He's versatile. He can play as a right back too. But he has the attributes that will enable him fulfill the DM role. But traditionally, Ugochukwu has the pedigree, if you ask me. He played a lot of games for Rennes and helped them achieve a top 4 finish in the French league, which means they get to play in the next edition of the Champions League. And we are contemplating sending him out on loan.
Coach, we even have Santos. We have Santos.
We even have Santos, yeah, to say the least. Pochettino's tactical approach against Liverpool is set to involve a 4-3-3 formation featuring Enzo, Gallagher, and Santos in the midfield. I wouldn't be surprised if Gallagher starts. He's improved, and it looks like he trusts him. Peter Lemchukwu says if Gallagher plays the way he played against Dortmund more consistently, then I don't think we need Caicedo. And thank you for being truthful. Some people, again, cannot give him credit for that particular game. Even the beautiful game praised him. Wow. Caicedo's deal is getting us tired. It's exhausting. Nice to see you again once more, Michi Boy. Whenever you get a chance, just share the link to your channel and people can go check it out. If we secure Olise, I am running around town. I don't want to see you. Just leave your clothes on. Don't call me when you do that. Let me see. Caicedo on his own isn't even helping matters. He's not really pushing for the move. He hasn't, again, handed in a transfer request. You could argue that. I really don't see why we bought Ugochukwu if they are not going to play him. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense anymore. You still remember my old username? Yeah, why do you think I don't forget? I know everybody. I know those that are constant here. And there's a special place for you and my. You go away. Look at me. Roger, do you see what he did to me there? And I started reading it. Caicedo isn't it's best to look at. And so he fought to join Chelsea. Look at Mount. He fought again and all that. Let's see. Caicedo on his own is again. I think you had that twice there. Let's see. Ajao Yedikachi. Good day to you too, Yedikachi. I hope you're doing well. And the beautiful game. Somebody I do not like. Coach, let's just take a break until January and instead concentrate on our targets. Caicedo is going nowhere because no one else can afford him. Brighton just needs a timeout. I think they do. I think they're overdoing it. We're the only ones interested in signing him. And I don't for a minute believe that horse doo-doo that was out there about a week ago or a few days ago saying that was a mystery bidder. Who the heck is that? I just don't understand. I think it's them sponsoring that report to get us to pay what they're asking us and take Caicedo from them. Ugochukwu has played in Europe as well. You see that? I think he's a fine player, but let's see what we do. Bless up to you too, Chelsea boy. I appreciate you joining. I'm going to come to you, Roger. You haven't spoken. And my bros, Mark and Escape Me Tracks, I hope you two understand. I just have to go to the next person on the panel, so because we don't stream forever. I like listening to you guys talk.
We don't?
I like you guys to talk, listening to you guys talk, Chelsea, because you know the club very well, but I have to bring in all this. So, Roger, hola, gracias, señora, bonjour, que du dalo, ya keke. I added Nigerian languages to that. But let me add Pidgin, so to accommodate all the West African countries that speak Pidgin. How you day, Roger? But by the way, Roger, welcome to the panel. I hope you're doing well, brother. Your thoughts? Let me show you the report that we are dissecting and analyzing at this point. I think it's this particular. Is it this one here? Where is it? Did I lose it?
It was size.
There you go. There you go. It's this one here. It says that Chelsea will bid a total, a total of 90 million pounds for Moises Caicedo, but that is set to be rejected, according to Alex Crook. I don't mind again. If you want to again also analyze the second part of the report, there, that's up to you. If you want to focus on strictly on the amount that's being mentioned there, up to you, Roger. You have the floor.
Hola, everybody. How are
Hola
you,
to you too, brother.
Yeah, firstly, I want to say, Bobby, I hope you're doing well on Glen 10. I hope you're feeling better or being, coaches even being nice to me. Come on back. I miss the abuse. So, listen, it's getting old and it's getting old very fast, isn't it? Let's be honest here. I understand that the likelihood of this taking place is quite good. However, as I said a couple of weeks ago,
you think it's still going to happen?
Well, I said a couple of weeks ago, I don't think they're in a rush to sell him. There's no reason for them to. They don't need money. They've made a lot of sales. They're now in Europe, so they would need him. Plus, they lost McAllister. So, you know, they're staying to their point. You know, that they're steadfast in that regard. They're in no hurry. There's no importance or reason to sell him. And so they're like, you know what? We sold Cucurella for 62 million to you. We could at least get a few more zeros for this chap. Listen, and we only bought him for 4 million 2 seasons ago. So I actually see him. I can see him staying. I really can, because of the fact there's no reason for them to sell him. There really isn't. You know, even 80 million is a lot. Listen, I'm not saying he's not worth it, but just by today's evaluation of players today, I think it's obscene, the amount of money that's being fluttered about. I get it. And Alex Crook from TalkSport. Okay, so yeah, what's your? How do you come to that conclusion? I get it, because of the fact that they haven't mentioned a specific price, but their valuation they have mentioned is at least over £100 million, which is shocking.
And do you think they'd get anything close to how much we're offering them if they don't sell him to us right now?
No, right now, no, not a chance. I don't think they would even get 70 or 80 million, probably. There's not many clubs that can afford this kind of purchase, especially this in this part of the transfer window, because a lot of teams have probably blown their budget. When I say blown, I mean spent their budget on other players already. So there's just a smidgen, a very small sampling of teams that could compete, especially in this league. So, listen, the longer it takes, the smaller the chances, because the price is only going to go up at the end of the window, less than 4 weeks left. You know, even if we put in 100, so this is 90 plus bonuses and add-ons, is it, or is this 90 plus add-ons? I don't know.
This says a total of 90, which means no add-ons.
Yeah, so
this is a total of, so which means no add-ons.
Sure, that's how
so that includes.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that's how I read it. But what does that tell you? They're probably going to want a minimum of 100, because that's what they've stipulated all along. And I just don't. What's the incentive for them to sell? Other than 100 million plus, of course. I'm talking about, there is none. In fact, they probably need him more than we do, for the simple reason, if reports are to be believed, we actually purchased their replacement for him. So I don't know. Listen, I think if this was a game of poker, I think all our cards are face up on the table. I think I understand Chelsea's approach, but I think because we haven't at least been bluffing in other directions, we've kind of shown our hand, and we're at the behest of them. They've got us by the short and curlies. And listen, this chap, you know, in X amount of time, we could turn around and look back and say, wow, he was a steal at 100+ million. We don't know that. But you're putting all your eggs in one basket for one player. And listen, we bought Enzo for 100 million. Is he a very good player? Yes, he is. Is he perfect? No, he's not. He does have shortcomings, and we've seen those. Is he worth 100 million? By today's market, Enzo is not. So we have been overpaying. We've had that MO thus far under this administration. This needs to stop. So I don't know when it will stop. I don't know whether we will bail out. I don't know. And as for, can I just quickly say one thing? I know you need to catch up with the chat, but yes, I agree. Gallagher played very well, but that's just one game in that position. That's not exactly a huge sampling size. But is it a good sign? Yes, but that's still a gamble. And yeah, we do have Santos. And, you know, if we really want to be successful this year, we're going to have to probably purchase him. Let's be honest.
Here, let's see what happens. I've always said how much we'll pay for him depends on how much we want him. We should forget to say though, and give Chuku the chance. He is not worth 100 million. And that's Benedict Owusu, Amankwa. I appreciate you joining, bro. I can make sure if you haven't, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, the likes do go a long way. I have a sneaky suspicion that Caicedo will get part of PF his transfer is part of his transfer fee the same way Dembele gets 50% of his 50 million Barca release clause. Really? Like and subscribe, people. Please let our show grow more and share the link to the show on whatever social media platform where you have a presence. And who is Nightbot one in here? Okay. No worries. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. No spamming, please. Just be yourself. Okay, let's see. Apologies to the rest of the panel. Unfortunately, Coach got fooled into offering Roger an appearance based on contract. So he's got to let him talk, or he will be again in breach of contract. What can I say? Yeah,
and we're back.
There. Yeah, keep looking for trouble. Let's see. Smash the like button, people, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. 66 likes. For me, Gallagher and Lukaku can do it perfectly. The only issue I have with Gallagher is that he can only get a red card, but he, again, has the energy. He can improve. He's become even more polished from what I've seen during the preseason. But like Roger said, it's just a game. Roger's been eyeing up a Latina coming in with the Spanish lingo. I see you. Yeah, okay. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. What else do we have here? 18 million was my cutoff for Caicedo. So I hope the 90 is rejected and we move on to another target. Wow, that is you being brutally honest there. We should move away from Caicedo now. He's not worth 100 million. Some argument. A big up to you too, the Chelsea boy, 1234. I appreciate you joining. Tyler Adams for 20 million is a no-brainer, but he's not fit. So that will always be a concern for the club. If you understand my opinion there, if Brighton reject 90 million, we the fans, we support the club because we know our owners have tried to sign him. But yeah, I'm not into us overpaying there. Rice isn't worth 100 million either. You can argue that, but that's again, but that's your opinion. There's something is worth it. I cannot believe we took Brighton's problem off their hands in Sanchez. He's a problem because he fell out with the hierarchy. Do I think he's a good goalkeeper? He is, but I've taken my time to compare his recent form. His form, I think I went back last season where he played again a game. You can say that measures the amount of game that Kepa played for us this season. Kepa, and he's not much of an upgrade to Kepa.
Actually, he's not an upgrade to Mendy. Yeah. I take Mendy over him.
So we get to that in a bit. And let's see what else we have here. Roger is in 2 places. Okay, I forgot. You're now able to comment in the chat from your the StreamYard window, right, Roger?
Affirmative.
Okay, and now I think we have the best hand here, and Brighton are just taking. Okay, whatever you say there, they need to sell because they know the player favors a move for Chelsea. They just want to get us as much as possible from us. Roger, we are sitting at the roulette table down to our last chip after the house has torn us a new one. It is a time to cash in that last chip and use it to get a taxi home. Wow. Let's see what else we have here. Allow me to shed some light on the matter. Caicedo has officially inked a 4-year contract with Brighton. The club is taking again a patient stance. Wow. Okay, Rice, what 200 million? I think Arsenal is lucky. We'll find out. Let's see. Brighton stands to benefit from his growth, potentially increasing his value even more by the next summer, with the possibility of numerous other clubs expressing interest. There's no rush, but still, it's a risk, no matter how you see it. Their course of action makes perfect sense. Hold on to him, achieve their objectives this year, and potentially secure a substantial sum, perhaps exceeding 100 million when they do decide to sell him next year. Okay, let's see how much they get for him. Roger saying hello to Mitchell Boy in the chat there. Why the hell, again, have we given Sanchez a 7-year contract? Because there's a good goalkeeper in him. Go next, a transfer target. We'll get to that in a bit, but Bobby has to speak. Bobby, I appreciate you finding the time to join. I hope you're doing well. Your recovery is going well. I'm sure you've seen the report yourself. If you want, I can read it for you. Are you there, Bobby? Okay, it sounds like he's on the road and he's having a problem there. So Banfordinho and Escape Me Tracks, any one of you has anything else to add to this while we wait for Bobby to come back in?
Yeah, sure. Let me say that Brighton, they are making a very huge, gamble here. If you look at the way they are doing the markets, they feel like they can hold on to Caicedo for an extra season, and probably when everything is settling, they will go in for another DM and sell the guy for a very high price to maybe Barcelona or Real Madrid. I still see that these teams are still courting Caicedo. But the point is Caicedo going to be the same player from last season? I wouldn't be surprised if his price tag depreciates, because the nice form he had last season is not going to be there anymore. And I can promise that the only thing for him to do right now is to force his way out of Brighton. If he has some advisors around him, they should force this young man to leave Brighton Football Club, because right now the team he used to play is not the same. A lot of outgoings have happened. So are you still going to have that top form? If you're unable to have that top form, that means that your price is going to depreciate, and Brighton will regret not selling this guy for at least 75 million. The 100 million tag people are saying is on this guy is so ridiculous. It shouldn't happen. So he has to do everything possible and force his way out. We have only a week to start the league. It's never too late. He can so force his way out. You can just decide not to show up for training. Tell the club, hey, it's time for you to move on, because some of this opportunity comes, but it doesn't come all the time. So if he decides to stay out there, it's up to him. But if he decides to come to Chelsea, Chelsea is a big football club, and he will be able to win laurels with the club.
Thank you so much, Bobby. If you're ready now, it looks like you had an issue with your audio or something. The moment you unmuted, it kicked you out. Oh, now I know. You're on the road. Bobby, do you want me to read the report for you?
Yeah, please, coach.
The report says that Chelsea will bid a total of 90 million pounds for Moises Caicedo. That's first part of the report. The second part says, but that is set to be rejected, and that's according to Alex Crook. You there? Are you there, Bobby? It looks like he's having a connection issue. Let's see what else we... Yeah, go ahead.
Look, we know that the reason
Bobby.
I'm on the road. Hello?
Yeah, I think your connection isn't. You can come back in when you have when you have a better connection, it's
So
not working.
I'm sort of going through blind spots. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
you
Yeah,
can
it's
say
better.
when you go to where you have a stable connection, you can come back in. You always we'll take you back to the topic.
Okay.
Yeah, if that works. So let's see. Anybody else want to add anything else to that? Bobby, Roger, you, or maybe Trax?
Yeah. What I want to say is, people keep having this perception that Brighton don't want to sell. First of all, we have to know that Brighton is a selling club, and secondly, we've heard it from De Zerbi, who said who gave up and said, okay, if we already have a player lineup, if Caicedo is gone, if they are not willing to sell, he wouldn't say such thing. And um I think what we all know Brighton is doing is Brighton know that Chelsea is going to pay the amount that they want Chelsea to pay, because it's like they are playing mind game. They don't want to give out the total amount that they want. They just want you to keep on bidding. It's more like they just want Chelsea to keep on bidding till Chelsea reach the amount that they want. I don't think if Brighton is to say, okay, the amount that we put on Caicedo is 100 million or something, I think Chelsea would have given up and be like, no, we are not going to go, we are not going to reach this point, because they've seen that Chelsea have invested much time on Caicedo. That is why they are also playing the long game, thinking that, okay, Chelsea is going to reach the amount that they want Chelsea to reach. But I feel like we've done enough. We should just, he's not God, or he doesn't give us the assurance of top four. He doesn't give us the assurance of the Premier League. There's nothing that shows that if we have Caicedo, we're going to be at this point at Chelsea's, like, we've achieved a lot. We are Chelsea. I don't understand why people have to treat us as if we are this new club that let's say the Sheikh bought, and then they are trying to buy this play. Then you can do this, you can do things to teams like Newcastle, or teams that were just bought by the Arabs, that they want to boost out their players and make the team reach some point. But Chelsea, we've achieved enough. We've achieved so much. We don't need Caicedo. Caicedo doesn't determine how Chelsea is going to be in future. Yes, he's a good player. Yes, when he comes, he makes difference. But there are so many players that we can go to, and we also have qualities, like the way that you guys were mentioning these players, that this new player, this player from Rennes.
Ogechukwu.
Yeah, Ogechukwu. We should give a try. We've seen what our coach have done with players like Harry Kane. We've seen what he has done with Dele Alli. We've seen what he has done with players that nobody knows. For God's sake, Harry Kane used to sit at the bench at Leicester City. You understand? And he transformed Harry Kane. So he also has to help Chelsea. Like, that is why he's the coach. He also has to be like the way he stood firm and let them not buy the player from Portugal. What is the name? Ugarte. He told the hierarchy not to buy Ugarte because they feel like he doesn't want them to pay crazy amount for this player. But I don't understand why he wants us to go further and buy, because if he was to say, okay, it's enough, I feel like, let us try something new, or let us try these new players, the owners will be like, okay, yeah, we've done enough, let's just walk away. So this is what I want to add up to it.
All right.
Can I step in, Coachila? One thing people should also realize is a lot of the people on social media and the mouthpiece of the club always seems to be desperate. When they talk about certain topics, they concentrate a lot on Caicedo. And if those in Brighton hear some of this narrative, they will go like, oh, these guys are really desperate for this guy. So we also have to show them that this guy is worth the money that we are requesting. So everybody should just relax about Caicedo. He's a fantastic player, but we shouldn't show our desperation. Chelsea is a football club. players should be willing to join us. Barcelona wouldn't do this. Real Madrid is not going to do this. When they come to you, they set up the price, they get the player, they are off. They are not going to tackle or tango with you with any price or whatever.
Yeah,
So
nice.
since we have been
Nice.
around,
Just look at Mbappe.
yeah.
All right.
Hey, can
All
I?
right, Bobby,
So
go
we
ahead.
just
You have the space
relax.
now, Bobby.
Sorry, Bobby, go.
You there, Bobby? Okay, I'm gonna get a few of what we have in the chat so when Bobby comes in. Tracks, I hope you've dropped you're through with making your points. Tracks, are you there? I hope you're through. Okay, let's see. Caicedo is not going to force his way out. Again, he's too nice for that. It seems that's the case. And Carlito, Mr. Carlito, when nice to see you here. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Mr. Carlito is the co-owner of Worldwide Chelsea YouTube channel. And please, if you're watching, again, go check out Worldwide Chelsea YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Let's see what else we have here. Rick Blue, my brother, I appreciate you. Good morning, coach. I am happy to comment if there's space. Okay, I didn't see that on time. We have full house right now, but I'll send you a link in a bit if anybody leaves. And again, I forgot something we talked about. His name is Michael Olise, and he is a certified GN, a bona fide stud, and you cannot teach that. He's a fine player. I hope we get him. And the good news is that he's again prefers to come to us and then go to Manchester City. Coach, did you believe Sanchez forced a move to Chelsea? That is called love. I don't think he forced a move. They wanted to get rid of him, and he wanted to leave. But he preferred coming to us. His preference was always to come to us. Brighton is poised to part ways with Caicedo, but only if Chelsea is willing to meet the exact valuation of £100 million, not a penny less. The situation is unequivocal in this regard. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you, brother. Belay says that yes, we need a fantastic striker like Vlahovic and Mbappe. Vlahovic may be Mbappe, possibility of Mbappe coming isn't there. Brighton is a demon club. When Caicedo is done, we should never do business with them again. I'm sure you've been to some stores in the States where you vowed not to go back there, but if they're the only ones that have the product you want, you end up going back
Demand
there.
and supply.
Demand and supply. It's as simple as that. Constantine Dante, always nice to see you, brother. Much love to you. I appreciate you joining. Finally, a panelist states that we wouldn't fail without Caicedo. Yeah, but we can do better with him. We lost better midfielders in Marco Lele and Essien and did not crumble. Marco Lele, who had a position named after him, for God's sake. Yeah, that's a good argument right there. Let's see what else we have. Dube Lamatu, I said it already. Exit this Caicedo deal. Big teams don't get dragged like this. We've been chasing the man since June. I think maybe for a reason we do not know, we're still there. There's a word for what Brighton are doing with Caicedo, but I shall refrain from using it on stream. Brighton are disgusting and are taking advantage of his circumstances. New regulations are needed. I have to agree with that. I think we've discussed that at length. Actually, they're doing that. Oh man, the Caicedo talk. Let's just pay the money, please. And that's Nesto saying we should do that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 21 more to get it to 100. Also, do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I think Chelsea owners they've learned business with Caicedo. Okay, let's see whoever this guy is that's talking. You get sense. I think a Ghanaian brother there. That's why I said I love listening to them talk. Coach, I like this panel even with Roger because and that's because Bamfordinho has kept me tracks. They're all saying something you want to hear. You enjoyed it because they're saying we should walk away, and it's not just about Caicedo. And that you know why I love them and let them on the panel. They probably told him that if he doesn't get his move, he could go to another top club next summer, and could be why we see no movement from Caicedo. Possibly 25 days before transfer window closes, Is it 25 days really? We need alternatives. This Caicedo deal is becoming a big headache. He's not the only midfielder in world football. Kante is again. So why are we bending over for Caicedo? Sometimes Chelsea need to put the plug. Okay. Just give Lukaku.
Wow.
Yeah, just give Lukaku for free to Tottenham, and Kane is going to Bayern. Okay, let's see when clubs drag us. Let's see what else we have here. Madrid got dragged from Mbappe last time I checked, and PSG again extended Mbappe's contract for 1 million per week. Big up. Get dragged all the time. Yeah, big clubs get dragged all the time. I agree with you. So I'm going to come to you. I don't know, Bobby, are you there, or should I go to AD? All right, AD, let's go with you. I know you understand. If he comes on, you can just let him speak because he was on the panel before you. But go ahead, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join. And
Hello, Eddie.
AD, you can say technically is Chelsea perspective researcher. He sent me all the updates, and I cannot thank him enough.
It's a pleasure, Coach.
That so much. I do appreciate that
Coach,
so much because usually after waking up 2 a.m. for the Blue Morning Show, taking my boys to school when school is still on and all that, by the time I come back, I doze off most of the time. And these days it's even difficult to sleep because my in-laws aren't here, but they will come back soon. Go ahead, if you're there, brother. You have the floor. The Caicedo conundrum, or whatever you want to call it, drama, if you prefer.
Big up, Coach. Big up, Roger. Big up to others, all on the panel. Yeah. You see, yesterday I couldn't join, but I kept sending message, just saying, when are we going to learn to say it's okay now? Deals. I mean, when we come to doing deals. I mean, this Caicedo deal, I've listened to so many people speak. I've read from the chat. If Caicedo is the only player
just quickly, Bamfordinho and Escape Me Tracks, the Bluetooth game is asking for your details, not your account information.
I haven't even got anything in my account. Maybe he wants to give me my account if he needs to put money in there, Coach, please.
Escape Me Tracks, Bamfordinho and AD, all of you can share the links. Just say, if type it there, you can do it through you can do it again on the StreamYard window. Just say, this is my Twitter account, so that they can follow you. You can do that. You don't have to go to through YouTube. You can do it through the StreamYard window. But it's by Escape Me Tracks, Bamfordinho, all of you on the panel. If you want to do that, please, so that they can follow you. But go ahead, Eddie. Sorry for cutting you off, brother.
Yeah, that's okay, Coach. Yes, as I was saying, if Caicedo is the only player we need to push this team to the level we want to go to, then it's a disaster for us. It's a big disaster. So, which means if we end up, say, for example, Brighton comes up now and say, okay, no, because I couldn't pick one of the panelists said something. They've actually not told us. Okay, they've not actually told us how much they want. Brighton has not said a figure. They just, so are we going to keep bidding and bidding and bidding, and then we're going to turn it down? And then when are we going to draw a line? Like I said yesterday, I sent a message, I said, when are we going to learn to move away from deals? If we didn't get Cucurella from them when we got Cucurella, we'll be here saying, oh, we should have bought Cucurella, we should have paid the money. Now we pay the money. What has become of Cucurella now? Man City did not pay for Cucurella. They went on to win the league. It's not about only one player. It's not only about, if we didn't have Ugochukwu now, say Ugochukwu was a Brighton player, we'll be killing to go and get this Ugochukwu from them.
Yeah.
So we should learn to get our own. I know we need experience. The only reason why it's difficult now, and how old is Caicedo? Is only 20. He's only 22 years. So if we're talking of that big experience, it's not that he doesn't have that big experience. The only thing is that he's played in the World Cup, and he's played for Brighton side that just made it, because most teams had bad season last year, so they made it into the Europa. So does that mean Brighton is now a bigger club than Chelsea? Absolutely not. Does it mean that there are no other better players out there than Caicedo that are even cheaper? There are loads of them there. Because I don't get it. And I posed that question yesterday. I said, what if? I mean, football is all about what if. We don't know what's going to happen. Like I was watching Messi Mount a few minutes ago, and he missed a sitter. A sitter. So we could see that it doesn't matter. A player can come, Caicedo can come there. He could turn Chelsea to what we want. But is he 100 million? And they're just telling you, okay, if you go to a shop where you can negotiate, I mean, you can still go, oh, my tag is 100 million. I mean, they allow you a little bit of negotiation and they drop a little bit. Why are they not dropping? We keep pushing up from 60 to 65 to 70 to 75 to 80 to 85. Now they're saying 90. I don't get it, to be honest. I really don't. I mean, we can talk about all we want about, oh, yeah, that's how we missed out on Chouameni. That's how we missed out on this. And yeah, there are many players we can miss out on. Then we should also go back and talk about those players that we've not signed that have flopped. We signed Bakayoko, thinking Bakayoko was the next big thing. What happened to Bakayoko? Bakayoko was so good for Monaco. Coming to Chelsea, he didn't fit for us. And we had to move him. He didn't even... I mean, so many things could go wrong. There's difference. I keep saying it. Yes,
and Eddie,
Bobby.
we paid a lot of money for him.
Exactly. So there's so many things. There's difference. I keep saying it. Some people don't understand a little bit about football. That the little experience we have, we all on this panel must have either played football or we are really, really involved in football. That's why we talk about football. So we have a little bit of knowledge about football as well. So there are sometimes the dressing room alone panics you as a player if you cannot handle it. That's why I give it to Bellingham. Bellingham is just an exceptional player who does not bother about whatever dressing room he walks into. He's already there with Real Madrid. He's dominating already, taking charge as if he's been there for years. But there are some players who come to a bigger dressing room, they can't handle it. Can Caicedo move from that dressing room? Okay, I know Chelsea's dressing room now is more of not those big names anymore that we used to have. But you find some players who come into bigger dressing rooms and they can't handle it. The pressure of being around these big superstars, so-called superstars, it sends jitters down their spine. So, but if we have this guy, he comes in, but I don't believe that there are no better, if not as good as him, there are no better players than Caicedo. That we just allow ourselves to be held to ransom, and Brighton will keep doing this to us.
Can you hear me, so?
Yeah, AD, have you dropped so that Bobby can come in?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, Bobby, he's giving you the space because he knows you're on the road.
Yeah, Coach, I think it's the Chelsea fan base that's making such a big deal of this. We're so fixated on this 100 million and we're making it into some kind of personal pride thing, and it's just not worth what we are making it out to be. The guy's £100 million, full stop. Do we want him? Yes, we get him and move on. You know, why are we making it as if, oh, if we spend 100 million, the world is going to come to an end? Bluco can spend 100 million each time on 20 players if FFP allows them. They're not bothered about it. We give the media the ammunition to attack us for spending money. If we behave like Real Madrid, spend your money and move on, who cares? Now, is he going to, if when we get Caicedo, is he going to succeed at Chelsea? Well, who knows? You never know until it happens. Is it worth the risk? Yes. We get so fixated on things that just are not relevant. Chelsea's aim is to get back to the top. We have done so well with player purchases. We've scouted, we've got bargains, we've got unknowns. There's just this one sticking point. And we act as if it's our fault. It's not our fault. The reason why this has dragged on for so long is because we've been trying to get him for less than this 100 million, at more his actual value. And the reason why we're being held to ransom is because of Caicedo himself and his camp. They went and foolishly signed that 4-year deal with Brighton for peanuts money. Not Chelsea. They did that. And all these walk-away merchants, yeah, walk on. Like we walked away from Declan Rice and Arsenal went and picked him up. Spent 105 million, bang, got him. Nobody talking about it anymore. Why do we Chelsea fans do this to ourselves? We belittle our club, we stress ourselves out, we constantly criticize. Do the deal and move on. Get over it. Crikey. You know, the owners of the club, okay, they're trying to be economical, but if they have to and they need to, and they're within FFP, they will spend the money and forget about it.
Here's the thing, Bobby. You use the term, you said the word, his value. I'd say his valuation by Brighton. Do I think it's worth 100 million? I'd say no.
No, he's over.
But yeah,
he's clearly, Coach. Clearly, he's overpriced. He is. As is Declan Rice. As is Hendrick, that Real Madrid spent 75 million on a 16-year-old, and he's still not able to be at the club until he's 18. Superpower clubs do this. This is the territory we're in. But our fan base, many of them are stuck in past mentalities. They don't even understand the scale.
Bobby, we did this with Enzo. So it's not like we are stuck with it. We did it with Enzo.
Doesn't matter. Chelsea Football Club is embarking on, or rather, shall I say, Bluecoat is embarking on a scale of a project that has never been done in the football world on this planet, ever. The purchase of the club was unique. The scale of the multi-club system is unique. Why are we getting bogged down in 100 million?
So, Bobby, so the next time we go into any transfer dealings, they tell us it's 150 million, we just pay and then that's it.
Yeah, we should pay.
Just pay and then don't try to negotiate then because we want to talk about because we are Chelsea fans. Because we are Chelsea fans, so we don't have to discuss. We overpaid Cucurella. We are not addressing the issue about Cucurella that we overpaid. Manchester City walked away, and I heard you saying that yesterday that because Manchester City.
Eddie, hold on. Eddie,
I will mention Manchester City. I will mention Manchester City because it's a football club as well, and they run their own as well. And their fans, even though they don't have as large fan base as Chelsea, that does not mean because they are not as loud as Chelsea.
Eddie, let's let Bobby drop. You can come back in.
Jay-Z, please don't talk about Manchester City to me. They are a fraud until they answer at least one of their 115 financial charges. Please, nobody talk to me about Manchester City. I'm not interested.
All right, Bobby, have you dropped about Caicedo so that Eddie can come in? Maybe he wants to
I'm going to drop. Caicedo's price has been set because of Caicedo and his representatives. Why are we intimidated by it? It doesn't mean to say that every time Chelsea is going to go and spend big money on players. In fact, we're setting ourselves up such that we're not going to have to do that in the future. But occasionally, if you're in a situation like this, where a player has given the parent club all the power, sometimes you have to decide how much value is this player to us. And if he is valuable, you go and do the deal, spend the overpayment and walk away with your player. It's as simple as that. We walked away from Declan Rice and Arsenal came along and paid 105 million.
Bobby, we never approached for Declan Rice.
Let's hear what
Chelsea never approached for Declan Rice. We never made a bid. We never showed it. Yes, there is a news, but there's nowhere that shows that Chelsea went for Declan Rice. We've never made a
exactly.
I don't think
exactly. I agree 100%. We never put in any bid for Declan Rice. That's not correct. We never put any bid for correct.
But go
not
ahead,
at all.
Eddie, I'm waiting for your response so that I can catch what we have.
What I'm trying to say is this. What I'm trying to say is this. On one side, Bobby will say, yes, we should just move on and pay the money. And at the other side, he doesn't want to.
Just quickly, let's not take anything personal here. If you
it's not personal. I'm only making reference to what he said. I'm only making reference to what he said. I'm only making reference to what he said. We should not mention Manchester City. They should go and take care of their fraud. That does not make them not to be a football club as well. That we should say, okay, this is the way. Now they went to sign Vardiol. How much did Leipzig initially put on Vardiol? They got him now for 77 million pounds. That does not mean they are not negotiating as well. So we should not say because a club places a certain amount on their player, we should just go and then just give them the money and then go away. No. Why I was making reference to Cucurella was that Manchester City went in for him. They put in a 30 million bid. They said no. They walked away. And Chelsea went in. They put their pants down. And we overpaid. We went in for Modric. We went and overpaid. So when the board, they're learning something from the mistakes they made last year, we should not as well help them.
Financial charges.
Let him drop.
Answer
Bobby,
one.
can you let him drop?
Answer one charge. Don't talk to me about Man City. I'm not
Bobby,
interested.
you're talking about something else. Can you let him drop? We're not discussing my.
Bobby, you allow me to say what I want to say.
Allow him drop.
You
please.
allow me to finish what I'm saying. About financial fair play, nobody knows how it works. Neither do you know how financial fair play. Neither do you know how financial fair play works as well. Chelsea only just paid 10.5 million about what the offense they committed as well. So what I'm saying is this: we have right as Chelsea fans to say what we have to do. Otherwise, we will not be on this panel saying anything. It's about football topic. It's about something we all have to talk about. It's a topic that is there for everybody to discuss. It doesn't matter whatever view somebody has that is contrary to your one. Everybody has to put their views across. You accept, you do not accept, does not make it a BS or whatever you always stamp people's comments. It's wrong. It's wrong.
So if your view, change the price of Caicedo.
It does not matter. They change, they do not change. But exactly, but that does not mean we should not negotiate and the fans should not talk about it. Now you just come and slay the old Chelsea fans and say, oh, this Chelsea fans going up about, oh yeah, don't pay this money. Why then do we stay 6 months? Why then do we stay over 6 weeks? Knowing this price, why then did you not call the board to say, come on, give them this money? If you have that link to the board, why not just ring them and tell them to pay the money?
Eddie, just quickly, Eddie.
Hold on. Let me come in.
Let's finish with your response with Bobby. Let's not talk about Man City's financial fair play.
Coachella, let me just step in a little bit.
No, let's Eddie has to stop. Let's let Eddie drop his point here.
It's too hot.
Drops. Go ahead.
All right,
Eddie,
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is this: we've been on this for 6 weeks. This manager needs this player to come into bedding. If we know we are going to pay this money, we pay. If we know we are not going to pay, what I'm saying is that we should have other alternatives. No matter what we think, we do not know anything until it actually happens. We might be looking at other alternatives thinking, oh, Caicedo is the be-all and end-all. It might not be. What about the other alternatives? Let this coach have these players to bed in with him, and then implement his style. What usefulness would Caicedo be to us if he's coming in after 2 games of the season, 3 games of the season, and we're already behind, and we end up go pay? So what I'm saying is this: nobody is saying don't pay the money, but we are saying why should a football club that this player does not have this as a release clause insist on certain amount? When you have a release clause, Enzo had a release clause, so Benfica stood and held for this release clause. Now, if he doesn't have a release clause, there is every room to negotiate. As far as I know, I think Guardiola, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm mistaken, that he had a release clause, but Man City negotiated and got it less. So what I'm saying is that there are other models.
We were going to pay 80 million for him.
Exactly, and they ended up getting it for 77. So why should we allow ourselves to be puppets?
Can I add something on what you said?
Yeah, go ahead. Just quickly take a minute and do that. I want to hear if Roger has anything to add.
I just want to add something.
I'm sure he has a lot to say.
Yeah. On the same thing. How much how much was the price that they quoted for us for Onana? They quoted, I think, almost about 70 million for us on Onana because they know how Chelsea move. They know we are going to pay. They've seen us paying for some place. And how much did Manchester bought Onana? Manchester bought Onana less than 50 million, but then they were quoting over 70 million to Chelsea, and then we walk away.
Exactly.
Right, what I can even add to the whole thing is when Chelsea goes into the transfer market, we have this tag because when Roman Abramovich came, I really appreciate what he did. He was spending a lot of money when it comes to players, and it has become a culture right now. So even if they are giving you a price tag, normally Chelsea seems to pay a lot of money as to compare to some of the other teams who are out there. So I think some of the Chelsea fans are also concerned. It has been a situation where we normally think that this player is going to do so well. And when they come in, after all the price tag and everything, the pressure itself it comes with, let them flop. Typical example is Bakayoko. Everybody thought the guy was going to make it so big, but when he came to Chelsea, everything was, a mess. So let's say that Caicedo is 100 million. So far, I haven't had any price tag from Brighton, but let's assume he's 100 million, and all of a sudden we go in for the guy, because right now it's divided. The Chelsea fans are divided. Some are saying we should go for him. Others are saying it's too much. Let's say those who are saying we should go for him, Caicedo comes in and he fails. And we even realize that Gallagher is more effective than this guy. It's going to be the Kai Havertz effect, Timo Werner effect. So sometimes we need to assess the situation and see what is best for the club. And so far, Poch has not come out to say, hey, I need this guy. If he really needs Caicedo, I guess he'll come out to the media and talk about it. He hasn't come out. We have not heard the owners talking about this, though. So we should all exercise patience. We have a very good coach who can make something out of the resources that he has. So we should all exercise patience. We shouldn't be arguing or make a hard argument about this. But I hope when the league starts, Poch is going to solve this situation. And I believe we are going to end very well with the season. If we don't get Caicedo, it's fine. There are so many players out there. I was even thinking that we can target most of the players from Africa and from South America. And we might get our Caicedo over there, because this guy was playing in the Ecuadorian league some years back. When I was in Ecuador, I watched two teams playing, and the standard over there is so high. So we should all exercise patience, and I guess we're going to see something good with the Chelsea team.
Yep. Roger, if you don't mind, can you give me 1 minute to catch up? It's growing too big.
Of course.
Of course, I have to ask you to wait because it's your turn, right? Coach, it hurts me when we chase a deal like this. Deals like this, we need to have a backbone when it comes to these deals. Eric, I think it says if we don't get Caicedo, then who do we get at this point? I honestly don't have anybody in mind. Honestly, I do not have anybody in mind. I would say if we don't get him, we can get Zubimendi, or we can make do. Honestly, if we're signing him as a DM, even if we want 2 DMs, we can keep Leslie Kuchuk and then sign somebody like Zubimendi, or maybe see. I don't know if Vanessa's buyer clause is active this year, will be active this year or next year. I'm not too sure. Those are, again, we can have 2 DMs. And Ugochukwu has proven traditionally he's a DM, he's tall, physical, and can make a difference in the Premier League. I wouldn't mind us sticking with him and finding somebody like Zubimendi or Ismail Banessa, but that's just my opinion here. Enzo needs a backup like Caicedo. We all know that. You can argue that, not backup really. Enzo shouldn't be switching places with Caicedo. They're 2 different profile of players. Caicedo doesn't have that vision that Enzo has. They differ. Again, if you understand what I'm saying, sell Gallagher for 14 million. You haven't even joined Suleiman, and you start with selling Gallagher for 14 million and use that money to get Caicedo. If we don't get Caicedo, we will regret it. I'm not too sure. It depends on what we do if we miss out on him. If Caicedo is the only player that can make the midfield work, it means when he is not in the team, we'll lose every match. Yeah, exactly. If we're feeling like he's the go-to, or we're done. What shop would drop their price if you don't have enough money? I need to know what shop you go to. And that's a serious argument right there. Big up to you too, DJ Soft. Always nice to see you, brother, and everyone in the stream. Just reading that Chelsea will make a final offer of 90 million, which will be rejected again. That second part of that report, I don't really trust it. But how does the individual know? I think it's Alex Crook that they were rejected. Brighton, I say this, a 100 million or bust. Vlahovic wants to stay at Juventus. good for him. And Juventus they're not going to be happy with that. Remember when Brighton put Coco up for sale last year for £14 million? Man City refused to pay that, and when we stepped the price went to £62 million. Chelsea are getting abused by Brighton. And they keep going back. We are in an abusive relationship, but we've refused to leave because we love our partner. The Caicedo deal is becoming very irritating, and ESPN pundits said he is worth 100 million, and Chelsea should overlook and sign him to strengthen the squad. With regards to how much he's worth, I don't know. Really, but do I think it's worth 100 million? I'd say no. A lot of people, Mr. Nice to see you, brother. Please reach out to me so that we can finish that project on time before the first game of the season. Let's see. Who said Brighton would accept 100 million for Caicedo? Brighton want a rice money for him. Assuming nothing. Assuming nothing. 107 buys Caicedo. Are you ready for that? I don't think we should pay anything north of 100 million, even not up to 100 million, but that's just my opinion. The good news, though, Chelsea have completed the signing of Sanchez, and we have signed another Brazilian gem in Deivid. I think the spelling of his own Deivid is weird. Washington. Thank you for that, DJ. We should move on. £85 million is fair enough. Who should we get? Use our current crop of players, or Tyler Adams if it's 20 million plus, because that's not expensive. But Tyler is injured. Again, Mr. Michaels, I appreciate you joining. Thank you there. Let's see what else we have here. After all, it's not our money. I don't like that attitude. That's really not okay. That's just your opinion, but I don't like it when people say, after all, it's not our money. But it's somebody's business. If we're being honest to ourselves, it's somebody's business, and just paying a premium all the time doesn't help. If you get my point here.
Yeah, like coach, it's not our money, then we be paying things, and then we go into a mess like Barcelona.
Yeah,
and then the
exactly.
same people will be complaining.
Yeah, exactly. It's Chelsea's money. Bobby is perfectly right on this point. Our midfield is weak. I get it. Our midfield is weak doesn't mean you start that by saying it's not our money. Prince Suleiman, you know I love you, but I don't agree with you on that one. We should only be paying over 100 million for a world-class player, established, proven in this new project when his esteem settles, and we know what we need. It's as simple as that. And Ohams Franklin, we need to get another replacement for Kante in order to get to the top this coming season. I get it. We need to hit the ground running, but that doesn't mean we should give them parts of Stamford Bridge to get the player we want. We never wanted Rice. I think I've been arguing that for 1,000 years. Let's see what else we have here. I keep dropping likes on the stream. We have the biggest list of Hollywood signings flopping: Morata, Lukaku, Kepa, Correa, Havertz. Learn again. I think you have to agree. Big names signings haven't really worked for us in recent years. Honestly, if we had a sign Ugarte, would we have be going hard for Caicedo? Maybe not, but there's no way to tell. Bobby, as always, talking sense. He is spot on. Brighton have set a price tag for Caicedo. If we want him, that's the price we have to pay. Caicedo representatives should have put a price tag on him. I'd fire him by now. If I were Caicedo, I'd fire my agent right now. They made a huge mistake by not finding a way to insert an exit strategy. I'm going to come to you. There's just too many to read in the chat because we went on and on, back and forth there for the argument, which is natural. But sometimes if we don't let each other speak, it's not okay. We're not kids here. But Roger, you go ahead. I'm going to bring you on because there's just too many to catch up with in the chat.
Yeah, first of all, you look really good for over 1,000 years old. Well done.
Since I like to measure 1,000 years, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a vampire, maybe.
You said it, I didn't.
But go ahead, Roger.
Okay, yeah, listen, I understand each and everyone's point of view. You make sense in your own way, you really do. These are my issues, is the fact that it's taken so long, where if he doesn't start or play or contribute in the first few games of the season, which it appears to be the case, and if we do drop points, this could be the difference between us making it into Europe or not, or even winning the title or not. You know, points matter. So the longevity of this negotiation has been a bit of a sticking point for me. And with regards to, and listen, South American teams, players, etc., are very technical. Of course they are. But just because one player comes from a country doesn't mean they can all transfer their skill set to a certain league. Now, do I doubt that Caicedo can succeed in this league? Well, he's proven he can. So he's a proven commodity. But to say that just because one person has been successful doesn't mean that everyone can. I would like to think, listen, as for the money, yeah, it is an issue to a certain extent, but it's the amount of time it's taken, as I said. That's what I have an issue with. This should have transpired by now. This should have taken place. We should have expedited the process. And let's be honest here, it is Caicedo's fault and his representatives, the team around him, that were even in this issue on circumstance as we are now. Do I believe that if we don't get him, listen, yes, we could find another player that could be a gem, but there's no guarantee. That's just the point, that there is no guarantee that another player, and there's no guarantee that another player won't succeed, conversely. I get it. But if you've identified, you meaning the team, the scouting staff, etc., the back office people, have identified him to be our number one target and by quite some margin, then I guess we should indeed go ahead and try for him. But I don't know. I'm a little bit wary of how we've conducted this. But, you know, listen, what we've done thus far since the January window, I think we've acquitted ourselves very well for the most part. Very well. And so we're going to have to put faith into this organization and the structure that has been put in place. We may not agree with everything, whether that be an acquisition or a sale, etc. But I think for the most part, we're going to have to show more faith. I really do believe that. That's what I have to say.
Yep. Thank you so much, Roger. I appreciate that. Let me see what else we have here. Side again, both Kudus and Olise, we both need them rather than paying over 100 million. And this from the Blue Tiffer Game says, using a house purchasing principle. If you sell a house on a street for a certain amount, every house on that street now has a guide price for selling to 107 million will be the new guide price. Yeah, it sets the tone for other sales, but it doesn't mean buyers will buy the new guide price. Yeah, exactly. That's another way to see it. In the case we have Santos, the guy is a gem himself. Let's see, Olise 30 million, Zubimendi 40 million, Kudus 40 million, Kifrin Turam 35 million. Those are good prices too for good players. But I think we want a player that will pay, and then it will be a purchase with a lesser risk. The key to doing business with Brighton is to buy as easily, as early as possible. If Liverpool waited until the Rice deal was done to negotiate for McAllister, they would have ended up paying 70 to 75 million and up. Let's see, the way Chelsea approached this deal has been wrong. Bidding a small incrementally while the Declan Rice deal was advancing has not worked. The bids should have started around 80 million pounds. He says McAllister had a release clause. That's a huge difference. So even had he stayed till now, if you pay the release clause, you'd get him. So thank you for that. This is again, this was a deal to do very early, put a strong offer, and even pay 85 million in June or early July. It would have seemed like a premium at the time, but in hindsight, it would have secured the deal. Man City have 100. When I said, yeah, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Chelsea. And the mention there was in another context. If you get, I know you understand that quite well, but of course, that Man City financial issue has always been. You don't like to, again, you hate that then you can say that they have not been held accountable. Brighton been bullying us for months. It's nothing new there. If we're to see it like that, Kachila, not just Alex Crook, even Sky Sports are saying the same thing. All these tier one journalists are not always right. Even Fabrizio he's not getting always right. He makes mistakes. Remember, he told us that we've gotten the Vadio deal over the line. That all that is left is just he comes to us in June and something to that effect. Roger is right. At this point, Brighton actually needs a Caicedo more than a Chelsea. You couldn't argue that they have European football and there's a chance. But here's the thing: they're surprised on him. So which means that I'm not going to be surprised if they say, you know what, now we want 120 million. Because they have European football. There's a chance they need him. But the argument is whether we should continue pushing for him at this point and end up overpaying. The price this summer will not change. Okay, we have obsession with Brighton players and Brazilian young talents at this point. You can argue that, Rain. Caicedo had 1 year in the league. Playing in the Premier League doesn't mean you are a proven commodity. We've signed plenty of flops from the league. Yep, quite a lot. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Brighton have not set a price tag for Caicedo. Everything we'll be hearing, they're asking for 100 million, but there's no way to confirm that's the case. Really, West Ham United set a price tag for Rice, and Arsenal paid it. They are just shooting down every bid we've made. If they set a price, we would have paid by now. I think that makes sense too. That's why. Again, I hear people say they want 100 million. Should I believe that? I don't know. There's no better DM in the current market than Caicedo. Is Caicedo traditionally a DM? You ask yourself that question. Just give me 1 second. I'll be back.
Wow, the silence is deafening. Hey, Eddie, are you there?
So sorry about that, guy. I just have to address something. Eddie's gone back to his old speaker right now. Is Caicedo traditionally a DM? You answered that question. And, the name there is Tribute House. I appreciate you joining. Caicedo for me isn't traditionally a DM, but I appreciate you joining. Do enjoy yourself, and all we ask of you is just to keep it civil. Let's see. The same fans would complain when season tickets are priced at double to offer the price of a Caicedo. Be careful. I have to say, we have to be careful indeed. Let's see what else we have here. Bobby, they just says, can we entice Real Madrid with 90 million for Tchouaméni? They're not going to sell him. They know the talent they have there. And in that area, they have agent players. So they wouldn't want to risk anything. Arsenal's agent from 90s bid to 105. Okay. Just pay the 100 million and get this deal over the line. If you're that serious about getting him, that's fine. We're setting up a patch for failure. I wouldn't go to that extent. Just because our pants are already down, that means we have to spread out our chicks too. No, I don't think we should do that. Katila also, if you did not know, 20% of Caicedo's SL goes to his old club, Independiente de Val. Yep, I think we've addressed that too. Here's the thing. I get it. Sometimes debates can get tense, but we don't have to go to the extent that you don't allow your fellow panelists to speak. I don't think that's not civil at all. We're mature enough not to do that. Let's see what else we have here. I think we need to round up as soon as possible. It turns out, I would be the one to take somebody to the airport, unfortunately. But that means maybe we have host another show later in the day, if it depends. Let's move on to the next item. This talked about the Vlahovic still. We're learning Vlahovic, again, his plan is to remain at Juventus, unfortunately. But let's see how that goes, which means we may end up getting stuck with Lukaku, or he ends up leaving for, again, going to Saudi Arabia rather than going on loan. rather than going plus cash to Juventus and we get Dusan Vlahovic in return. But that's, by the way, Bobby, if you have anything to add before we move on to talk about the Caicedo discussion, you go ahead before we move on. Are you there, Bobby? All right.
I don't think he's there.
Okay, McAllister, I just added him. Maybe he's still having an issue with his connection. McAllister, I have a release clause. David Onsen again stated on record that McAllister had. Yeah, we all know that, really. But the point I am making is that if Liverpool waited, that again ballpark of value would have changed because of the market. The key was Liverpool coming early and offering the valuation of the player and paying the buyer clause in that case. What's the most important position in today's game? That's the reason DMs are more expensive than they have been. Okay, maybe. Caicedo is not even that skilled technically. Wow, he runs hard, plays hard, great endurance, but he doesn't score or assist. A low score involvement. Basically, a solid player. One season again. I don't think it's worth it, really, in my opinion. I'm going to move on just to ask you the coolest shares to be able quickly. Do you have anything to add to that so that we'll move on?
Yeah,
nothing.
If you're a Chelsea fan,
let's give Tupeho a chance to speak.
Okay,
round it up soon. Yeah, go ahead, Tupeho.
About the question by Dendante.
Caicedo, what do you think we should do? They're asking again. We want to go in with 90 million plus 90 million in total, which means that includes the add-ons and all that. Do you think we should again beyond that we should do anything, or do you think we should walk away right now and not even go with that?
Since Brighton 100 million, let's just pay 90 plus 10 with add-ons. I'm tired of this saga. It's either we pay now or we walk away if we have a better solution. At this moment, players that we've been linked with are not a good solution for us. So we'd rather just pay for Caicedo, man. I'm so tired.
All right, thank you so much. We'll have to move on quickly.
Hey, Coach,
go
ahead,
Roger.
Can I quickly ask something? Is everyone okay if we don't add another midfielder to our roster? Are you okay?
Let me start. I'll just say yes, I'm okay. We have Santos. We have what's his name? We have again. That's because we have Leslie, who played a lot of games, who helped brands achieve a top 4 finish. He's traditionally a DM. I think would be good in that department. With Gallagher too, if he stays.
Coach Hila, even this guy Angelo Disasi, I've watched the guy and he's very built for the Premier League. He shouldn't be necessarily be a defender. I watch him; he's very skillful. He knows how to dispose of his opponent. So we can, if I'm Poch, I'm going to try him at the DM position and see how it works because he's really a big guy and he can do something,
So like David Luiz.
Say that again.
Like David Luiz.
Yes. So I mean, they could try using that guy in the DM position, and probably he could dictate the game.
I'm sorry, who are you referring to, sir?
Axel.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, we could try him.
Yeah, the only manager that has ever done that with Chelsea has been Mourinho.
Yeah.
Most managers we've had, they've not been doing this. But for Tottenham, you can recall, Pochettino did it with Dyer. He moved into centre, so he learned he can switch, he can move players around. So he has that tendency to be able to do that. So we wait and see if he'll be able to juggle around and then fix somebody there. But at the same time, he's been complaining that he needs experience in midfield. So does Caicedo represent experience in that bracket?
You could argue if you're talking about the Premier League, you represent experience. AD, it looks like you just went where you had the old microphone. So let's see again. The sound issue there. We'll have to round off as soon as possible. What do we have here? Talks apparently will continue next week for Vlahovic. However, I am beginning to have doubts about this deal. We should move on, move to our next target. No DMs. Let's see. Caicedo is not even really a DM. I've argued that. Yeah, the only player that's traditionally a DM within, again, on Chelsea books right now is Leslie Ugochukwu. And while we're contemplating letting him go after how, again, the games he's played and how, again, successful he was in League, I just do not know. Kudus could score goals if we sign him, but Kudus is not a DM. He's a 10, or at most he plays on the flanks. We need to buy another midfielder. Okay, sign Adams, Olise, and Kudus. I hope we get those deals. Apparently, Kudus wants to join Arsenal. Caicedo is the first one to get the ball from the goalie, and CB's yet he's not a DM. If you see the way, again, the definitions depends on how he applies himself. But I get it, he's a versatile player. But let's see, he's a box-to-box. Yeah, that's how I see it, the CM. AD again, but here's the thing, he's equipped. He's well-equipped to fulfill the DM role. But that's just my opinion. Let's see, AD again steaming in the sauna. Okay. The Sassy is the best ball-playing defender in France and a great dribbler, so he's not a bad shout for a DM, as the panelists have said. But do we have the luxury to experiment come again at the moment the season starts? I don't think so, but it's up to the manager. Let's see what else we have here. This here talks about official confirmed acts at the Sassy. I think we've addressed that. We don't have too many items lined up here. Do I have the wrong window open here? Yeah, we've signed this guy. We've signed completed the signing of Robert Sanchez. We've addressed this one too, the bid, and this one, Robert Sanchez, also his comment. I'm excited, amazing opportunity to work with a coach of that level, and obviously watched him with his past clubs, with what he's done, and I think what he brings to the club, the family ambience around the players is really good, and his play style is something I think suits him really well. Lewis Hall is on the verge, if we're to believe the report, of joining Crystal Palace on loan. Crystal Palace are closing in on Lewis Hall loan deal, and it's going to be good for him. And hopefully he gets a chance to play in the midfield and not he could be forced to play on the flanks, or maybe play as a defender because there's no space for him at Chelsea. This here talks about Chelsea have made a 25 million verbal proposal to sign Michael Olise. Personal terms are already agreed. Chelsea still waiting for guarantees on his hamstring injury. Hopefully we get that one over the line. Angelo, Gabriel, and Deivid Wahington are both expected to join Strasbourg, and PYS is quoting Fabrizio Romano here. I don't know anything about Deivid Wahington, but I'll research him. Chelsea made the first offer of 30 million euros, including bonuses, but Montpellier wants around 40 million. So it looks like we may end up walking away from the Ayawahi deal. This says also remain in talks over a deal for Juventus Dusan Vlahovic, which I think we've addressed that one too. Chelsea have made an offer of 15 million euros plus bonuses proposal for 18-year-old Santos striker Deivid Wahington. So, Bobby, do you have a space there? You can go ahead and have your say. We're rounding up soon. Unfortunately, I have to go take care of something. Are you there, Bobby? Yeah, it looks like he's struggling with his connection and audio. What else do we have here? Slightly adjust our system. Let me see what we have here. Slightly adjust our system. Reece James as a sitting DM and Gusto at right back, and then revisit this in January. We move. Yeah, we can do that. Second in tackles, one in the league behind Paulinha. But yeah, does that make him a DM? That doesn't make him a DM. Kante traditionally, for instance, isn't a DM. Kante is an 8 box-to-box midfielder also, but we played him in that role because he's equipped to fulfill that role. That doesn't make Kante traditionally a DM. But if you get I get your point there. Just quickly, yeah, of course, Caicedo can play as a DM easy, but just saying not a traditional DM, yeah, that's the argument here. Nobody's saying he cannot fulfill that role. James cannot even stay fit up. Playing right back, and you think he can hold up again as a D, but it's more demanding in terms of the amount of running you do.
Yeah.
What about Luis Hall? Luis Hall, is it a DM or like an 8?
I'd say more of an 8 from what I've seen, or a deep line playmaker. but he's not a defender. I get it, but well, I'd like to see him play fulfill the wing back role because he does that quite well. Jesus Caicedo, okay. How many teams play with one sitting DM now? You have to be more than a sitter in today's game.
Yes.
Yeah,
Bobby.
go ahead, Bobby.
My connection is so bad.
I'm seeing that. Yeah.
Listen, you see, the situation we're in is such that because everything is so new, players are new, coaches new, we haven't even had the time, albeit, 5 games in pre-season as well as we did, is not even enough time for us to know if we can do well without Caicedo or not. I think, just as some of you here have said, that there is every chance and possibility, especially now that we've got Leslie Chukwuemeka, that we can do without this guy. I reiterate, I'm not worried about the 100 million. What I do say is that if we get that far, and that's a big if, and they still turn it down, then that's when you can say, okay, thanks, but no thanks. Especially as we seem to have enough already in our ranks, albeit it's not yet tested, to succeed without him. That's the only point I'm making.
Yeah.
Mainly about
Roger,
him.
I'm handing over to you. I'll be back in a bit. If you have any other thing you want you guys to discuss, you go ahead. I'm handing over to you.
Okay, let's talk about Potter. I'm kidding.
Of course, your
Roger,
client.
you
Go
want to
ahead,
start
Roger.
again? You want to start me off again?
I'm just teasing. I just want to quickly say something, if I may. I'm watching the Liverpool Borussia Dortmund game on demand, and you know what? I think Trent Alexander is going to have an issue with Mudryk.
I hope so.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So what were you saying, Bobby? I apologize. Please continue.
I am so Chelsea through and through. It's just, it goes without words. But what I'm saying is that concerning this Caicedo guy, we may already have the solution to him, but it's because we haven't had the time to exercise this team as it is that we don't even know that, if you know what I'm saying. I mean,
yes,
we haven't seen
days.
Leslie. We haven't seen Leslie play. Diarcy CC, oh gosh, what am I saying? Axel has just arrived.
Yeah.
And I just think, Pochettino is just beginning to put his pieces together. I just think that our need for Caicedo may not be as acute as we think it is. However, if we do decide to meet their so-called valuation, we know it's overpriced at 100 million. I think 90 million is even eye-watering. If they continue to reject that, then it's time to say, okay, we've done absolutely everything possible. We have to move on.
Do you believe we go any higher than this
matter with this guy?
Sure. Does everyone think we're going to go any higher?
What, than 90?
My issue is, how many times have we bid for Caicedo? How many times? I think it's about the 4th time.
Yeah. 4.
So I don't understand what you mean by when we've bid. I think we've bid enough.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Well,
do you think we go in for more if they reject 90?
I think
from the beginning, Roger, right from the beginning, it has been more or less public knowledge that they want 100. We are the people that have been trying to get it cheaper by bidding cheaper.
Yes.
Now, Caicedo and his camp.
If we bid
for 100, they say they want 150.
Oh, then you stop, isn't it? Then you stop. I think 100 is the ceiling, and we've never got to that ceiling. But if we get to 100 and they say, oh no, we want 105 even, I think they've gone too far.
And I don't think we will go there with them. I'm not even sure we'll go up to 100 with them. But, that's it. That is the ceiling they set. And that is as far as we, I believe, will go. I'm not even sure we really need him that badly anymore with some of the new guys we've brought in. But,
Sure.
since we've started this crusade, and the crusade has a 100 million ransom, and we've not met the 100 million, that's my point. My point is we've not actually tested that water. And if we go there with that, and they say, oh no, we want 105 like Declan Rice, then we can tell them, well, screw you, we've done everything we can, and move on. And if somebody else comes and pays 105 and gets him, well, so be it. All is fair in love and war. That's the point I'm making. I think we've gotten so intimidated by the 100 million that we haven't even tested yet. He is overpriced, of course he is. But I think he is going to be one of the last players in a long time that you see us being cornered into overpaying for, because we've offloaded and got rid of a lot of our problems. Do you see what I'm saying?
Let me catch up.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bobby. Were you still speaking? Was he still
No,
speaking?
I'm dropping.
Okay, Roger, I appreciate you. Again, let me see any official news from Batman. No, nothing like that. And your name is Uncle X-Rick Music. I appreciate you joining Uncle there. Welcome to the Chelsea Perspective community. Feeling home, express yourself. All we ask of you is just to keep it civil. Poch is not convinced with Leslie. He said in a conference that there's a big chance Leslie goes. He again, even before he joined, it's not about being convinced. When did he look at him? He hasn't looked at him. Forget him, Batman, dude. It's not happening. The beautiful game for the last time. Caicedo will not cost 100 million. It will be in excess of that price. The Reece James slander is a foul. Who did that? Just who did that? I agree. The beautiful game, and big up everyone. Big up to you, to Eugene. James spent more time on the injury at least than on the pitch. No disrespect, just facts. Let's see. I would take Reece James. Don't drag me into that. I swear I'm gonna start using my spanner in this chat. You should. If somebody is using anything that you sense is sexist, please do that. Too busy signing 18-year-old kids for Strasbourg. Okay, let's see.
Coach,
you have to trust the owners. Yeah.
Can I say this on record?
Yeah, go ahead.
I defend Chelsea to the hilt, but I will not support us spending more than 100 million on Caicedo. Absolutely
I wouldn't either.
Not.
I wouldn't. You and Eddie actually were on the same page, but it's like some misunderstanding there. Let's see. I'm gonna move on from that. Strasbourg is the bigger club. Chelsea is the feeder club at this point. Wow. What is the latest with Lukaku? Nothing new. Maybe we should keep Lukaku and sell Sterling to Juventus. Maybe, but it's not happening. Let's see. This chat is it's been for a while now. Roger, you can round off the show. But thank you for holding the fort for me while I wait to take care of something. You can round off the show. Your final thoughts, so we can call it. Just put everything together, Roger. Up to you.
Yeah, I think good discussion, healthy discussion, if I may use that term. Passionate. It's all good, and I'm sure all is good between everyone. I just feel that I would have liked to be where we are currently 2 or 3 weeks ago at the very least, because I would have, if you recall, I would have loved to have had the new acquisition in midfield been in place for at least the last 2 games of the pre-season / friendly season, and I just hope he doesn't come back and bite us in the gluteus maximus, But I think that there is some validity to the point that we do have other players that can fill the void, so to speak. And I've said I would love for James to play full time in that role eventually. So I think he'd be very well suited to it. But I'm not sure about who do we bring in if we do not bring Caicedo in, if anyone at all. But
Can
it
I
just
add
means,
up something about
yeah,
James
of
playing
course.
in midfield?
Let's we don't have too much time, but go ahead. Then we'll go back to Roger again. Go ahead, bro.
No, it's fine.
Playing in midfield, I feel like it demands a lot. It demands a lot of running. It demands a lot of
Not as
tackling.
much as wing back. Or
Yeah,
right
as much
wing.
as not as much as wing back. Wing back. Wing back. It depends on the position. You understand?
Yes.
But with James also and his injury record, I feel like we have to maintain him, and we have to. You understand, because of his injury record, we can't just put him in that place. Look at what that position have done to Kante. You understand?
Sure. But that's on box to box. But if he's a DM per se, he's going to run far less than he would in his current position. That's my point.
All right, go ahead, Roger. Round off for us, please. I
No,
have to
no,
take
I
somebody
dropped.
to the airport.
No, I
Yeah.
dropped. Listen, you're in a hurry. I've dropped. There's nothing earth-shattering that I need to reveal. So,
All right, thank you so much. And I blame Jerry Z. He could have again helped hold the fourth wire, even if I'm gone for 5 hours or so, because he'd be on camera too. But I want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you to my brother, the coolest Charles. I appreciate you all. I will add your information later. The only information in the description section right now is that of Roger Pop. There you see it, and I want all of you to go take a look at it. I have the coolest Charles information to be. I'll add it later. But for you, Mark and Trax, please go check the description of Roger's credentials in
or
the
lack
description
thereof.
section. Yeah, and write something similar for yourself so that whenever you're on the panel, I'll add your information in the chat. With that, I want to say thank you to all of you in the chat. Thank you, Constantine Dante. Thank you, the Beautiful Game, Code Web, CAA Mafia, Relaxation Nation, the Chelsea Boy 1234. All of you. Who else am I missing? Eugene. Once more, anybody here? Uncle Extric Music. Love you all. Appreciate you all. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Bye. Drive safely, coach.